Welcome to Beyond the Review, customer conversations about digital transformation success, presented by Raven Intelligence. I'm your host and the founder and CEO of Raven Intel, Bonnie Tinder. Well, welcome. Today we are speaking with Wise Consulting by RSM, a name that has long stood for innovation and customer experience and services for UKG. As you may know, Wise Consulting has recently joined forces with RSM, the nation's premier provider of assurance, tax, and consulting services, a move that marks a new chapter in the industry. So welcome to you all, Steve, Marta, Marnie, and Matt. I'm so glad that you are here. And if you could start off by just quickly introducing yourself and your role at RSM. Matt, why don't you go first?
Sure. Thank you. My name is Matt Kinney. I'm a principal with RSM, and I lead our business applications team for North America.
Thank you. Marnie, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Marnie Rosen. I am our National Human Capital Consulting Leader at RSM.
Thank you. Marta?
I'm Marta Williams. I am Managing Director with RSM, and I lead our UKG Pro application area.
Great. And Steve?
Well, welcome. Thank you for having us. So I'm Steve Graham, currently President of Wise Consulting, and moving on to Managing Director of the Workforce Solutions practice under Matt at RSM.
Great. Thank you so much. So my first question, Steve and Matt, maybe you can take this. So could you talk a little bit about your number one priority and the focus that you have for the balance of this year and 2024?
Thanks, Bonnie. I think our number one priority is to sort of just deliver on the vision that brought us together, which is to provide a more complete solution for our clients. Our focus has always been on clients, and we want to solve their problems in as broad a way as possible. And bringing the capabilities of Wise into RSM allows us to do that. Steve, your perspective?
Yeah, I can add a little bit of color to that. So much of what Matt said about client success, that's been our model for many, many years, and we've achieved a lot of that. And that was such a good fit when we began conversations about joining forces. And that stays the same, I think, as we go forward, which is one of the big reasons why this joining forces with RSM is such a powerful step forward in our journey.
Indeed. And as you think about this union, what specifically in terms of the Wise team skills and experience is beneficial or will help clients in terms of HR transformation efforts?
Yeah, so at RSM, we think about this whole life cycle of advise, deliver, maintain, or manage as we think about how to assist clients. We want to be there for the whole life cycle. And historically, we've been very strong in the advise area of HCM and helping clients with their people strategy. But bringing Wise in really strengthens our ability to deliver UKG solutions and to manage those in an ongoing way so that clients know they have a partner for the long term to support them.
Yeah, so much of this joining forces is predicated on the skills and talent and capabilities that we possess. And it was nice to see that as an added piece to the RSM culture and the RSM world, but keeping much of the same in place is what's so powerful. The functional talent that we have, the technical talent that we have, the way that those two things come together really supported the advise and manage and maintain for RSM clients and all of Wise clients over the years as well.
Mm-hmm. And as you think about the Wise customer base, what does it mean for them? What is changing this year or next? What can they expect?
So I'll start with that. I think that what it means to the Wise clients is that they can still be our clients, right, as we move into RSM. So we have the same people that are moving over to RSM that can support them, the same consultants, the same type of services that perhaps that they utilized us for in the past. However, we have now expanded capabilities with the RSM team that we can even offer broader capabilities to them.
Yeah. And I would say the same for our RSM clients. What we were able to offer before on the advisory side is really looking at a business holistically from a finance perspective, an IT perspective, and an HR perspective. And we can help them think about how they needed to define the function, structure it, what processes they needed, what their requirements were for systems. But once we got to that point where they needed to implement a new solution, they were really looking for that expertise that Wise now brings to us, not only to help them optimize and or implement a solution, but then also manage it long term. So this way they had a partner through their entire life cycle. No matter where they were in their maturity, we really now can support that fully end to end. And that is what our clients are looking for. Someone who could help them through any of those challenges and have one-stop shopping, essentially.
Yeah. So could you maybe take a step deeper into the product portfolio and talk specifically about the structure of your products? So, we know initially it's systems implementation, payroll and tax, technical support. What does that expanded RSM suite now look like beyond just those three areas?
So RSM has long had practices around ERP systems, CRM systems, people to maintain our clients' IT systems. So any aspect of email, file storage, collaboration. We've long had those capabilities, but we've had a bit of a gap in our ability to support their HR and people platforms. And that's what Wise really fills in. Being part of an accounting firm, we can also surround that with finance and tax advice. So if you think about paying your people, there are tax implications of that, especially as you get into things like executive compensation plans or developing offices offshore that we can also assist with.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. Typically, when clients come to you, what are the business problems that you're helping to solve, be it either in the HCM space or beyond that? What are the things that you're hearing as you're bringing new clients into the fold that are most common?
Do you want me to jump in on that one? That I didn't know if that was a Marnie question.
Yeah, Matt, I think you're up first, and then Bart and I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. All
Great,
right.
Matt.
We do see our clients coming to us with higher level problems, and often the HR component is a subset, or in some cases, maybe a symptom of another initiative that they're trying to address. So it may be we want more employee engagement, and UKG is part of that solution, but the strategy is part of that solution as well. It may just be a strategy around growth or a digital transformation in which they need to make all their systems more usable and make them support the business better. So often it touches accounting, procurement, as well as HCM.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
And Marnie and Marta, did you want to add to that as well, particularly
Sure.
with the HR piece?
Yes, I think a lot of our clients are coming to us because they are experiencing some challenge or change in their business, whether that's an M&A transaction or they're scaling and they're going to experience a lot of growth, or they're doing something else in their business model that they need our help to think through all of the areas that Matt talked about, but specifically around how that's going to impact their people. So we're thinking about what their employee experience looks like, how they can train, develop, and manage those employees, and ensuring that both their candidates and employees have a great experience. And so when we think through all of the operating model components of that, technology is really a leader in that. How are we going to enable those things that we build out through technology? And that's where we really see the partnership with Wise, not only conceptually designing that, but then actually putting that into practice and making it come to life. So being able to look at what their strategy is, align it to that design, and then have it go live and then be able to have employees adopt that is really where clients are looking to us to help solve that in the change management around it.
So not just building that strategic vision, but then actually seeing it through to execution and delivery then.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And I would say on the systems side, just to elaborate a little bit more on that, clients are coming to us to help them build out the system that's going to meet their future needs, right? So as they've identified what are their strategic objectives, what do their, business, what does their business need to thrive on? We're able to help develop that system or optimize their existing system to help them meet those needs.
Awesome. So my next question is around sort of market positioning. What is it about RSM and WISE by RSM that's truly unique? What is setting you apart, either from a delivery perspective or a product perspective? And Steve, did you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I'll take a start at that. I think when we talk about what kinds of problems or challenges that clients are faced with, you look at what we bring to that solution or bring to that problem as a solution really covers all the tenets. So all the technology solutions, or many of the technology solutions at least, a lot of the process, a lot of the procedures, a lot of the compliance, a lot of the things that come into play. And I think it's that depth and breadth that we now offer. We've always done a good job of bringing technology up to a level that really benefits organizations to the point that they can actually see an ROI and recognize it. And now I think that even expands it even deeper and broader with all of the other skills and capabilities that we have throughout RSM.
Great, thank you. So, as we at Raven and WISE have worked together in the past, we have seen lots of customer feedback. And this year, again, you were in the top 5 in terms of customer project success, rated by customer satisfaction and delivery. So congratulations on that. Specifically, we see a lot of your customers pointing out the consulting team that you have, many times by name. How are you planning to ensure to, number one, keep that same level of satisfaction high, and also the approach that you have as you grow and move into more hiring and things like that? How are you going to keep that that culture strong and thriving as we've seen in the past?
I think the biggest thing that we've found so far is that RSM and WISE cultures are very, very similar, right? So the culture thing is not a big difference for us. As we talk about consultants and bringing them into RSM, what we look for are people with in-depth knowledge of the system, UKG specifically, people that can adapt, and people that can really listen to our clients' needs and help solve them. And that has done us well over the last 25 years, and I assume it'll help us as we continue on for the next 50 or so.
I'll add to that, because so much of what we did in our diligence, RSM did a lot of diligence on us, obviously, but we did a lot similar diligence on them. And one of the things that was really critical to us was satisfaction, retention, and career growth for employees. We wanted all of our consultants to recognize that this was a huge step forward in things that they wanted to develop, whether it was skills, whether it was careers, whether it was changes in their career. And we wanted to make sure that they felt really comfortable and they had a solid foundation to continue working in. And we've proven this time and time again, just in the last year, that this is real. And I think we're going to continue to demonstrate that in the very near future and ongoing. That is going to reinforce all the consultants' confidence in what the organization is, what the structure is, what the discipline is, and what it means to serve clients in a high-level capacity that they've always done, and probably do it even better as we go forward.
And RSM and WISE have already had the opportunity to partner on support for some clients. And we share the same values around client service. So we see the same things in WISE consultants. I think that they do in our consultants, where we are really trying to understand what the client's issues are and listen to what their challenges are, because we always talk about the power of being understood. That's what really matters when it comes to how they value our expertise and also how we're going to be able to deliver. So we share that. It is helping us to be more effective as consultants, and not only to get you to go live, but then really just understand what you're trying to achieve and support you long term. So we think that's the difference maker.
So from a cultural perspective, it's not even just, how your teams operate internally. It's how do they then take, that culture and move it into the customer relationship, and being able to understand and sort of walk in the shoes of the client, so to speak. I love that. Matt, anything to add on culture of RSM?
Yeah, when we talk about, Marty mentioned the power of being understood, that's something we apply to internally as well as externally to our clients. So we want to understand employees' aspirations and help support those. So again, as Steve mentioned, the due diligence went both ways, and what we discovered is very compatible cultures. The first few times we got the teams together, everyone really just thrived. We found so much in common in the way we approach our work and the way we think about serving clients.
Absolutely. Well, in a people business, that's everything. So that's great to hear. My last question as we wrap up here is, what advice would you give to a client that may be looking at an HR transformation project in the future? And, specifically at UKG, what would be some of the advice that you would have for them? And Marty, maybe we can start with you.
Sure. I think our advice generally is to start earlier than when you get to, we've chosen a system and we're going to start to implement it. It is really important to take the time to think holistically around HR systems and how they're going to impact other areas of your business. So a lot of that planning is, how are we going to do things? How do we want the system to be set up? How are we going to get our data right in order to be effective long-term? And things like reporting, there's a lot of downstream impact to that. So our recommendation is always think about what you're trying to achieve and what that pre-work is, what you need to do before implementation in order to be successful. And combining that with a partner that understands that can actually help be arms and legs for you is something that we also find clients may not think about. It is a really heavy lift to implement a system. So having a partner that can support you, that understands what your vision is and can actually take some of that lift, then that's also a great investment.
So starting with that end in mind and working backwards from there. Love it. Mart, what about you?
I'll repeat what Marnie said. I think that starting early in the process is really key, thinking about what you want to achieve. Those clients that are most successful are those that take the time to really think through what they want to achieve with the system implementation, and not try to just slam in a system and worry about what they want to achieve later, because then no one's happy, right? So if they start early, they think through that, we're able to set up the system, help with process, with people, help with the heavy lift, and the system ends up serving them for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. So no rushed implementations, and ensuring that, if you're changing systems, it's an opportunity to reinvent the process.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll add a few points, because I could repeat exactly what they both said, because I think that's so fundamental in doing setting a goal and having a plan to attach to it. But it's also being reasonable and being realistic about what really can be accomplished, and knowing that there's always going to be a phased approach. There's going to be some immediate problems that need to be solved, and there's going to be some longer term problems that need to be solved. And I think that holistic approach that both Marty and Marta talked about, in a reasonable approach for how you get there, goes a long way to really achieving it. And setting those metrics and goals and objectives and seeing the results goes a long way to reinforce the next steps as you proceed.
Right. And that realistic blueprint, knowing that you have limited time and resources, to spend on a project, I think is so key. And I think a lot of clients sometimes forget that. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to echo some of the other comments. It's important to keep in mind why you started the journey. There is an outcome that you're after, a business outcome. And so I think finding a partner that not only brings deep technical expertise, but really understands the business outcome you're trying to achieve and stays on track with that is critical. So finding that partner that understands where you're trying to go, not just how to implement the technology. We often talk about it's always people, process, and technology. Technology alone won't get you the business outcome you're looking for.
Absolutely. It's a three-headed equation: people, process, technology. And if you omit any one of those, you're going to have problems for sure. And as you talked about, this idea, and Marty mentioned it before, of making sure that the client is understood. I think that that's the role that RSM plays. It's what we've seen WISE play for so many years, is this valued advisor in the process. So really great wisdom here from each one of you. Any parting thoughts as we close here? If a client was looking to start an engagement or at least a conversation with WISE, what would be the best way to reach out?
I'll start off with closing thoughts and maybe a little bit of an answer to that. The future looks very promising, very bright. We're all very optimistic about what it's going to be. We're trying to define that a little bit better, so that we get some, kind of touch and feel those things that we believe is growth, is establishment, is greater success on a client's behalf. So I think the future state looks very promising. It's probably going to happen in the relative near term as well, which is encouraging. And I think clients are going to benefit from that. I think the more they get engaged with us, I think the more that they learn about the depth and breadth that we as RSM possess and that we can share. I think the partners are going to find it to be an incredible step up from what a partner brings to clients, to their clients, and as well as to our clients. So I think it's a win-win-win scenario on everybody's behalf. And the deeper we get engaged, the more we get engaged, the more clients ask, I think the better it's going to be.
Thank you for that. Well, great. I appreciate all of your input today, and we look forward to continuing to see such positive customer engagement and results from the work of RSM.
Thank you.